Hi everyone, it's Annie and I'm here today with my best books of 2022 video. So this is the first proper video I'm filming in my new apartment. I'm still kind of trying to figure out the lighting, so bear with me, but I think we got it okay right now. And I am very excited for this video. I feel like 2022 was kind of a mixed bag. I read over 200 books, which was the first year that I've ever done that. And I feel like I read a lot of good books, but not a lot of favorite books. So I actually don't even have 10 books for this video, which is wild because in the past few years, I've had a really difficult time narrowing it down to 10. And this year, I believe I only have like 5, 6, or 7. My list is over there. So it's exciting because you know that the books are actually really, really stellar and amazing. So none of these books on this list I have any qualms about whatsoever. I loved them all dearly and they are very, very special to me. So I highly recommend all of them. And I'm going to try and rank them. It's not really a ranking because I love them all, but my most favorite book will be at the end of the video. So let's go. So first, we have A Prayer for the Crown Shy, which is the second in the Psalm for the Wild-Built or Monk and Robot duology of novellas. And if you've read this series, you know it is so comforting and just so good. I couldn't not put it on here. This is really, really amazing. It has a non-binary main character named Sibling Dex, who is a tea monk who goes around and they sell tea to people and help them with their problems around town. And it's just, I love them so much because they have a lot of kind of inner turmoil about what they want to do with their life. And then in the first book, they meet this robot, which in this solar punk-esque world have been kind of thought to be extinct. That's not the right word, but you know what I mean. There are no more robots in this world, and Sibling Dex finds this robot named Mosscap, and they team up together and travel together. And here in this book, you really get to see Mosscap interacting with this human society, this new utopian solar punk human society. Becky Chambers' world building is just top tier. A+. I love what she does with like the concept of money here and just the idea of helping your fellow person out of the goodness of your heart. It's such a comforting world to go into, and I really wish this wasn't just a duology. Maybe it's not, because actually on the inner flap it says Becky Chambers' new series. So maybe we can hold out hope for another novella, because if there is one, I will snatch it up very quickly. Next, we have These Violent Delights, the other one, the Dark Academia one, which was something that really swept me off my feet. I read this for my Gothtober reading vlog for the Gothtober readathon, and this was spectacular. Like, the writing in this, the prose was just absolutely stunning. First of all, it was just amazing, and I couldn't believe that it was a debut. It was beautiful, beautiful prose. You really felt the main character's emotions. So it follows this toxic relationship between two boys who meet during college. So that's the Dark Academia setting. And one of them is very anxious and quiet, and he really gets attached to the love interest, who is very confident and rich, but they have this intense toxic connection to each other, and it was just so good. If you want a gay Dark Academia, please read this. I think it is severely underrated. I know some people mention it, but I feel like it gets overshadowed by some of the more popular Dark Academia books. And this one is just top tier. It's just amazing. It is so good. I don't know how many times I can say that. You really feel the anxiety and the suspense of everything, because their toxic relationship starts going to a very, very dangerous place, and the story culminates in a way that you sort of expect, but it's not predictable at all, if that makes sense. And I have to say, the prologue to this book is one of the best I've ever read. It really hooks you, and it really makes you think, like, oh my god, what is happening here? Like, I have to read this in order to see the full picture. And oh my god, it's so good. So please, if you want a dark academia with amazing deep characters, suspense, murder, all that good stuff, don't miss this. All right, and continuing the dark academia theme for everyone, we have Catherine House by Elizabeth Thomas, and this was so delightfully sapphic, which I did not even know going into it. It was very weird. You are not going to know what's happening for a lot of the book, but if you like dark academia, you like books with culty vibes like Bunny by Mona Awad, and you also like Marina Diachenko's Vita Nostra, you're gonna like this book, because Catherine House is set in a college, a very prestigious college, where only the best of the best can get in, and something sinister is going on there. And there is this special study track that only certain people can do, and it's very secretive and very mystical and strange, and I just loved it. I'm not going to give you any more than that because I really feel like I don't want to ruin anything, but I think it was great. Some people say that the ending is not satisfying, but I think the ending was perfectly satisfying, and I thought it was just a great ending to a wonderful book. So if you're looking for some creepy dark academia vibes next year, definitely read this one. Do not be put off by the low Goodreads rating. It doesn't deserve that. It deserves way more. All right, and then we have a kind of short story collection, which is Night of the Living Res by Morgan Talty, and this was spectacular. It is a short story collection, but the short stories are all interconnected. They are all told from different perspectives and times of the main character's life. So they're not told chronologically, but it is all centering on one character and his family. And this is set in a Native community in Maine, about what it means to be Penobscot in the 21st century. They are just spectacular stories. I was just captivated from the very first one all until the end. It's just amazing. So it does follow, like I said, one young man whose name is David, and he's growing up on the reservation with his family, and it talks about his experiences and how difficult it is to be in that situation, struggles with drug addiction, and just poverty in general and what that means and how it affects a family. It also talks about a lot of could be upsetting content, so definitely check content warnings, but there is some alcohol abuse and abuse just in general, spousal abuse. It's just very, very interesting. And the title, Night of the Living Res, kind of made me think that this was going to be a horror book, which is actually why I picked it up in the first place. But it's not a traditional horror book. There is a little tiny bit of fantastical elements, maybe, but it's just amazing, and really you need to read this. Don't sleep on it. Okay, so 3 more. Now, this next one is, I don't know, maybe controversial, but it's The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Don't turn off the video. There's still 2 more left that are my top favorites. This one, though, was just really good. I don't know. I know a lot of people don't like Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is the only book by Taylor Jenkins Reid that I have read. I don't know her other books. I don't really know her writing style other than this book. But I love this book. So this is my video and I'm putting it on here. I just think it was done really amazingly well. I loved the audiobook of it. I did listen to it, and I loved the interview style, and I just loved how it really felt like Evelyn was a real person, and she did not feel like a fictional character at all. And just going through her journey as a celebrity and grappling with her identity as a bisexual woman throughout the ages of Hollywood. The ending was spectacular as well. It was just so good, and it does really deserve the hype. I think it does. I know some people don't think it does, but I think in this case it does deserve the hype. Yeah, so I really like this book. As for the next two books, I had a really hard time choosing which one is gonna go on top. It's been really hard to choose. So I think the next book is A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson, which I just absolutely loved. If you guys don't know, this is a retelling or inspired by Dracula, told from the point of view of his wives, specifically his first wife, Constanza. And she is just a formidable woman, great, strong character. I also read the actual book Dracula right before I read A Dowry of Blood, and that helped kind of see where the characters are coming from. But I loved this so much. Of course, I loved how sapphic it was, and great polyamorous vibes as well. I just thought this was so unique. The voice was so delightfully gothic and velvety, and just it made me want to read it over and over and over again. I am hoping to get a Barnes & Noble gift card for Christmas so that I can go and buy myself a copy of the new tour, or no, is it released by Orbit? Yes, it's released by Orbit, the new Orbit version, because of course this was originally self-published and then it was picked up by a regular publisher, and I am just really excited. I really think this is a masterpiece. It's just a masterpiece. It's written again by the point of view of Constanza, but then there's also another wife and a husband of Dracula, and it's just seeing their dealings with Dracula himself, the man himself, you know, the famous vampire, and it's harrowing, suspenseful, and you really feel all of their emotions, and I loved it. I loved the ending. It was so satisfying and just amazing. I love this book so much. Okay, here it is. My favorite book of 2022 is actually the first book I read in 2022. So basically we started the year off on a high note and it all went downhill from there. But, you know, what can you do? The Traitor Baru Cormorant is the best book I read in 2022, and it's also one of my favorite books of all time. This is so good. Okay, so this currently has 3 books out. It's supposed to have a 4th coming out, but Seth Dickinson needs to get on that. I just started, prior to filming this video, I just started the sequel, The Monster Baru Cormorant. So 2022 is going to be rounded out by The Masquerade, which is the name of the series. And let me just... This synopsis is so well written just in and of itself. It should give you a whole tone of how the book is. It's just amazing. Okay, tomorrow on the beach, Baru Cormorant will look up from the sand of her home and see red sails on the horizon. Look at that imagery, so good. The Empire of Masks is coming, armed with coin and ink, doctrine and compass, soap and lies. They will conquer Baru's island, rewrite her culture, criminalize her customs, and dispose of one of her fathers. But Baru is patient. She'll swallow her hate, prove her talent, and join the masquerade. She will learn the secrets of the Empire. She'll be exactly what they need, and she'll claw her way high enough up the rungs of power to set her people free. Yes, we love this. We love revenge. We love women taking what they want and being unapologetic for it. Oh my god. In a final test of her loyalty, the masquerade will send Baru to bring order to distant Ardwin, a snake pit of rebels, informants, and seditious dukes. Ardwin kills everyone who tries to rule it. To survive, Beru will need to untangle this land's intricate web of treachery and conceal her attraction to the dangerously fascinating Duchess Tainhu. But Beru is a savant in games of power, as ruthless in her tactics as she is fixated on her goals. In the calculus of her schemes, all ledgers must be balanced, and the price of liberation paid in full. Yeah, if you want some of the best world building you will ever read, if you want a book that is so unapologetically anti-colonialist that you will just be beside yourself with how amazing it is, if you want a heart-wrenching, tragic ending and such a great sapphic romance, I cannot emphasize enough how much I love this book. I love it. It is one of my favorite books of all time, and I do not give that title out lightly. You need to read this. Please do. It is such a great fantasy. I hardly see anyone read it, and it needs to be appreciated more. So that is it for this video. Again, only 7 books, but I think that these are all such amazing books. A really good variety too. You know, we got fantasy, we got dark academia, sci-fi, horror. I think this was such an amazing year and such strong books, especially Beru. So please read Beru Cormoran if you read nothing else. I really hope that my 2023 is as good, if not better, and I hope yours is as well. So in the comments down below, please let me know what your top books are of 2022. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye!